Hello, friends. Welcome to the seventh edition of Options Talk. Everything talking. We are talking about options between Raghunath and myself. It's basically what has happened in the last week and what we can expect in the next week. This week we are doing it a bit differently. I'll be starting with my charts, and then Raghunath will take over and he'll be talking about calendar spreads. More information about calendar spreads later on. So let me start with my chart straight away. In the last couple of weeks, something interesting has happened because though the data was pointing towards some negative reaction in the markets, every dip got bought, and I think we might continue to see the same because as per the charts, as long as 10,700 is held, 10,680, 10,700 on the spot, it's unlikely that Nifty might go lower. Though Bank Nifty was a bit weak, there were other stocks, mainly Reliance, which carried Nifty along. And if that continues, then we again might see a dip. Maybe if at all a dip, then it will get bought. And on the higher side, again, there is a resistance near 10,800, 850. So basically, this 150, 180 points range, and the breakout will give another 100, 150 points on the whichever side it breaks. So I have some charts of Nifty weekly calls. Now, if you see the weekly 10,800 call, which is sort of at the money because Nifty is around 10,770. This is a bearish column. This is a bearish column on the 10,800 call. And even on Friday, it was a bearish column because there was a sell-off in the morning. Of course, Nifty stabilized after that, though Bank Nifty didn't. So this call, although it is bearish on 3% chart, on a 1% chart, it becomes interesting. This is about, in fact, it has given a sort of a bottom at the same place where it was around here, 70, 80, and it has started turning up. In fact, it has given us buy on a lower time frame, which is a 1% chart. So if this continues high, this can go towards 145 over here, this level. So this, if this continues to go higher from 1995, this can go towards 145, and the stop loss for that trade will be below this low of 70. And how will it look on a 3% chart if that happens? Then in that case, this column might go up straight and go back towards this previous bearish column, anchor column high, which was again near 140. So that will continue to act as resistance, which naturally is about 10 940. But if this action happens first thing on Monday morning, then it will act as a resistance. Then maybe again some reaction to the downside. But basically on 10,800 call, you need to watch 70 and 140 as a range. So on a dip, buy with a stop loss of 70 and book it near 140. If it breaks out above 140, 150, then it will be a real breakout. But if you just calculate simple arithmetics, the highest on this call has been about 156, which means 10,956 because 10,800 plus 156. So if at all over the next 2-3 days before Thursday, this call rises and crosses 140, 150, 155 is what you can expect, which means Nifty 10,950. So that might be a good breakout for the longer term. For the next week. But for this week, maybe if this call does not break 70, you can expect 10,900, 10,950. This is from the options charts. So this 3% and 1% chart are indicating bullishness. 3% is bearish right now, but naturally because there was a sell-off on Friday, but the 1% has turned. If you look at the 22,400 call of Bank Nifty, that also is approaching a support area. If you see this chart here, this is of course a 1% chart. Right now it is at 429, 430. But near 360, 365, there is a support where there was a bullish action on the left. You can see there was an anchor column, which means there's a bullish action. So this low of 347, 350 is going to be important going forward. And if that holds, then again you can expect Bank Nifty to this call to go towards 700, 800. And again, that might face resistance there. And if you look at a 3% chart of this 22,400 call, this is again has a bearish action naturally because on Friday there was a big sell-off in Bank Nifty compared to Nifty. But this, like that 70 on the 10,800 call, this has a support near 340, 350. So that will have to be seen. If that holds, then you can expect a good rise in Bank Nifty also. There's another thing which I have seen over the years. Every time it happens, somehow sector-wise, even the world markets same sectors move typically. If pharma is moving in USA, even in India, pharma is moving. If banking is moving in USA, then banking is moving in India. So though banking was weak on Friday, till Friday, on Friday night, I was just looking at some charts yesterday. I mean, a lot of leading bank financial stocks in the US market have given a breakout. In fact, the leading index, financial index of the US market has given a falling wedge breakout on a typical candlestick chart. So if that is replicated in India, you can see a good rise in banking stocks. And among the banking stock, some PSU banks did not fall as much as the private banks on Friday. So in that case, you can expect a rise in one of the bullish stocks which I am looking at is the SBI, in which the 200 call on 3% has already given a breakout. There are two anchor columns here. So this is near 8 right now. As long as it is above 6, it can go towards 14, 15. So watch out for SBI if Bank Nifty is stabilizing on Monday. That is one of the stocks I'll be looking at if market is stable. Now, if you look at the 22,400 put, that has given an anchor column over here, which is a bullish action on the put. Naturally, because on Friday that Bank Nifty went down sharply in the morning, and then again in the second half. So if this does not break 250 on the lower side, then again Bank Nifty might go sideways. But if it breaks 250, this is a 22,400 put, then you can expect a higher expiry in Bank Nifty as well as Nifty. So these are the levels which you need to watch on the calls and puts. Another stock which I have been talking about right from the beginning is TCS. Though it dipped a bit after the results, it gave a good uptick on Friday, suddenly in the second half. And if you remember, right from the first week of July, I've been talking about the anchor column here on the TCS call. And once there is an anchor column right at the lows, you need to keep the stock on the lookout on the watch list continuously for bullish action on all dips. And that is exactly what happened on Friday as well. So now that was 2100 call, but that time that was at the money. Now the at the money will be 2200 call. So this also is the bullish anchor column on Friday around noon. So if this gives a double top by above 92, the stop loss will be below this, which is right now is 55, but depends on what is the low tomorrow on Monday. And then this can go all the way to 127 and maybe higher. But of course, TCS has a huge resistance near 2300. Everyone knows that. So it depends what happens there. But this is a trade which one can take for a very short term. So TCS and SBI on the long side, and watch the call and put of the Nifty and Bank Nifty 16 July expiry on the lower side and higher side. Yeah, that is all from me, Raghunath. If you have any questions, otherwise I can transfer it to you.
Okay, thank you, AP. Hello, folks. Today I will talk about calendar spreads. Many people have been asking me to talk about calendar spreads. What are the mechanics involved? And many people also had doubts like, why the payoff of calendar spreads keep changing. So to address some of those questions, I thought I will cover the calendar spreads. So here is the standard disclaimer that the futures options are risky. So please do your due diligence before taking a trade. So a calendar spread involves selling and buying of options of the same strike price but of different expiration periods. Also called time spread or horizontal spread. Horizontal spread is because they are of same strike price but in different expiries. In a standard calendar spread, a front month option is sold and back month option of the same strike is bought. For example, if you sell at the money put option of the front month, which is the current month expiry, then you buy same strike price put of the back month, which is the next month or even the third month also. Then this is a standard calendar spread. So even weekly options can be used, weekly versus weekly or weekly versus monthly also. Ideally, at the money option strikes are used in the standard calendar spreads. And there are like 20 different variations of calendar spread. But today we'll focus only on the standard calendar spread. A calendar spread is a delta neutral strategy, which means the overall positional delta of the calendar spread is close to zero. And delta neutral in the sense that this is a non-directional trade. And it is a long volatility strategy, which means if this calendar spread will gain when the volatility or the implied volatility in this case increases for the options. Ideal time to enter calendar spreads is when the volatility is low or there is backwardation in volatility. So when volatility is low means the implied volatility should be low, which means the premium should be low for the options. And when there is backwardation in volatility, it means the front month IV should be greater than back month IV. Then also you can do this calendar spread strategy even if volatility is high. So this calendar spread benefits from faster time decay of front month options than the back month options. Because you have fewer days to expiry, the front month options decay much faster than the back month option. So that is the main pillar for this calendar spread from which it gains. It is an income trade due to low margin requirements, and also it's a defined risk strategy. Ideally, put calendar spreads are ideal when you have a bearish view, and call calendar spreads when you have a bullish view. And let's look at one example of calendar spread. So here is a typical calendar spread where we short at the money front month option, which in this case the 30th July expiry, and then we buy the back month option, which will be the 27th August expiry. Now, as you can see here, the this is a delta neutral. If you go and see in the Greeks, it's a delta neutral strategy because it is close to zero. So this is how the typical payoff looks like. So now I will talk about what are the maximum profit for these calendar spreads. This is difficult to define because it is dynamic and dependent on volatility of back month option at expiry. For example, if you go and look here, this will become zero at expiry. The front month becomes zero at expiry, which is on 30th July. But you don't know what will be the IV of the back month option. So if you don't know the IV of the back month option on that particular expiry day of 30th July, it is difficult to estimate what will be the maximum profit. So this is dynamic. So if the IV changes, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or whenever, then your payoff also can change. So that is why that's a reason for this payoff keep changing depending on the volatilities of individual options. So keep that in mind. And the maximum loss is the debit paid for the spread. So basically nothing but the premium you pay for buying back month option and minus the credit received for selling the front month option. So this minus this, that will give you the maximum loss. Now for the break even, again, just like max profit, it is difficult to estimate because it dependent on the volatility of back month option at expiry. So these are all the theoretical estimates for both maximum profit as well as break even. So break even will also change depending on the volatility of the back month option. Also front month option before the expiry. So we will look at different factors that influence the calendar spread. So calendar spreads benefit from increase in volatility as they are long Vega trades. So Vega, which means that if you look at the Vega Greek of this trade, you'll see that the Vega is positive. So you have Vega, negative Vega for the front month option, but you have much higher Vega for the back month option. So net you have positive Vega, which means a positive Vega trade. So if the volatility increases, then this particular trade will experience. I will show you example here itself. So now here this is IV percentage. So if I increase this, look at the payoff option, payoff chart of this. You'll see that it will expand. Okay, I'm leaving this scroller now. So if you have seen that suddenly it has increased. So this is called a positive Vega trade, which means if the volatility increases, then the payoff and the profit potential of the trade increases. Okay, so now I'll bring back it to normal. So the Vega measures the responsiveness of the option price to changes in the implied volatility. This I have shown you now, just now. So positive Vega trade will benefit when the IV increases. Now long dated options have higher Vega compared to short dated options, which I have shown you. The price of long dated option increases more than the short dated options price for the same percentage increase in the IV. And that is why you see that increase in payoff chart. And similarly, long dated options price decreases more than short dated options price when the IV drops. Now, if you go back to this chart again, what happens if the IV drops tomorrow? For example, let's say it decreases by 10%. Then you'll see the payoff chart has reduced, right? Because this has more effect on the long dated option. So this one, the long dated option loses more when the volatility drops compared to the short dated option, and that is why your payoff will decrease. So when the volatility, important thing to remember for the effect of volatility is that when the volatility increases, you will see more potential payoff. When the volatility decreases, you will see less profit potential. So this is the risks and profit potential that you have to remember. Now, what is the effect of theta? Calendar spreads are theta positive trades. It means the trade will benefit as the time passes, assuming everything else remains changed, right? So if you have like 300 theta in rupees, and for every day if nothing happens, then you will gain 300 rupees using this strategy. So that is the main gain that you see in the calendar spreads. Now front month option premium depreciates faster than back month long options, and that is what we are betting on, that front month short options premium depreciates faster. So theta decay is faster in front month options compared to back month options. So if you go and look at the Greeks, the theta is positive here. So if you look in the Greeks, in rupees, so every day it gains around 145 rupees till July expiry if nothing happens in the underlying, correct? So if nothing happens, if it stays just like here, so every day you will gain around how much? Around 215 rupees, around 161 rupees you will gain from the theta depreciation. Now coming to the effect of delta and gamma. So at the money calendar spread is delta neutral, as I've said already, with positional delta close to 0. So the delta from one another cancels each other. So if you look at here, the delta of the delta of front month option is cancelling the delta of the back month option. So your overall delta will be close to 0. So this is a non-directional trade basically. And you can also do bearish and bullish calendar spreads in this. So if you are using a bearish calendar spread, then it will have a negative delta, which will not be very high. And bullish calendar spreads will have positive delta. because you are long, so you should have positive delta. And if you are bearish and you are short, then you should have negative delta. And coming to gamma, calendar spreads have negative delta, which means larger moves in the underlying is not favorable for calendar spreads, but sideways movement is beneficial. So you should avoid gamma risk by exiting the trade before the expiry week, or at least on the Monday of the expiry week or the expiry month, so that you avoid the gamma risk. Okay, now I'll show you again the gamma. So here you can see the net gamma is negative. So if there are big moves in the underlying, then you will see losses, accumulation of losses. Now, so just to summarize, the calendar spread benefits when the underlying movement is stable or sideways, and when there is a, so this is for the theta depreciation and increase in implied volatility. When there is increase in IV, then you will benefit. And the calendar spread suffers when the underlying makes large and fast moves, and when there is decrease in implied volatility, and when there is a gamma risk, you can lose faster if it goes against you. So keep these in mind when you place a calendar spread. Now, if you have to have an entry and exit rules for a calendar spread, for monthly options, you should enter around 30 to 40 days to expiry of front month option. So reason is is that you will not have liquidity beyond these days. I mean, I was looking at some of the options, in the back month options. I'm not getting liquidity beyond 40 days to expiry. After weekly options have arrived, I'm not seeing is that, because it would be liquid even till 45-50 days to expiry. But now I'm not seeing that.
Just
So
one question, Raghunath.
Yeah.
Is this a change because of the weekly options? Because earlier even 45 days to expiry used to be liquid, right?
Yes, exactly. Even 45-50 days also used to be liquid for the back month options. So that is not happening now because of the weekly options. All liquidity has gone in monthly options. So now I have reduced this to 30 to 40, depending on the liquidity that you can find in the back month options. And for weekly options, you cannot go beyond 10 days. Okay, 10 days to expiry should be the ideal time when you should enter calendar spread. And you should enter
something like a Monday for the next week.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. So you should enter this trade when there is low implied volatility. That is when IV percentile is less than 40, or when there is backwardation of IV. That is, front month IV is greater than back month IV. So the reason is that I'll tell you both the examples why it should be done. When there is IV is low, the implied volatility percentile is less than 40. Because when the implied volatility is low, you don't expect that it will go even further low. So there is assumption that either it should go up or it will stay at the same level. So if it stays at the same level, you will benefit. Nothing much happens to your payoff. But if the volatility increases, then you will benefit because your potential profit payoff will increase. So that is the reason you have to place these strategies at low IV. And ideally, the put calendars are more beneficial when you do at low IV, because the increase in IV is usually associated with market going down. So put calendars actually gain more when you do this at low IV, when you place these strategies at low IV. And similarly, when there is backwardation means the front month IV is higher than back month IV. So this happens when there is event in the front month compared to no event in the back month. For example, elections and RBI events, something like that. in those conditions, it is useful. If this is not in last week of expiry, then you can place those trades taking advantage of this backwardation of IV. Okay, so in a calendar spread, as I said, you short front month at the money and buy back month at the money. Would be puts as well as calls. Now exit rules should be 50% of the initial max profit should be your target. Of course, as per your expectation, you can change it. But this is what I have observed, that you should get at least 50%.
Just 1 minute, Raghunath. Here,
yes,
there is something interesting because some people asked me in the past. So I'll take the screen. I want to show something interesting on TradePoint about this.
Okay.
I'll just interrupt you for a couple of minutes.
No problem.
Yeah, so this is TradePoint, and this is a multi-leg chart of the same spread which Raghunath has showed there. Now, what is happening is here under chart, you go to multi-leg chart, and there you can type the put. That is the Nifty 30th July 10,800 put long, right?
Yes.
Sorry, that is short. Short, and then Nifty 27 August 10,800 put, that is long.
Yes.
So this is the multi-leg chart in options where in TradePoint 30th July 10,800 put short, 27th August 10,800 put long. You can change the quantities, but here it is only one each, right?
Yes.
And once you click on OK, the first chart is a daily chart, so make it a 1 minute chart, and make it a 30-minute chart. This is what I have seen. I use it quite regularly, and then add a single moving average, which is a default 30, and also add intraday lines. So this is how the put looks. Now here you have shorted some. Now you can see on the left hand side top 227 is the price of the put premium of the 10,000 July put, and 374 is the premium of the August put, and you have shorted 227 and bought 374. So basically it is 145, 146, right?
Yes.
So this chart also tells you how your trade is going, and then you can use stop loss as per typical recent lows or something like that, and trail the trade. That is what I wanted to show.
Okay. Yeah, you can also use yes.
Yeah,
you can use charts as well to use a stop loss mechanism.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I have transferred to you.
Okay. So as AP showed you, you can also use that as another exit rule if you want. And stop loss is the 50% of the initial max profit. So you're looking at 1-to-1 risk reward. So if none of the above hits, and if you have done around 30 days, 40 days before, right? If none of the above hits as you approach close to expiry, then you should exit on the Friday or Monday before the Thursday expiry to avoid the gamma risk. Because if there are some big moves, then you can quickly lose in that trade. So another one interesting thing I wanted to say, or as a tip, is that when you short front month and you buy the long month option, the long month option price should not be more than 1.5 times of the long month front month option. So for example, if this is like 230, right? So it should not be more than 1.5 times of 230, right? So around 460, yeah. Yeah, 30, yeah, 490 should not be more than that, 1.5 times. So that's one thing I wanted to tell you. So now coming to adjustment. So when to adjust? So you should adjust when the underlying price is about to reach one of the break evens and stop loss is not hit yet. So if you're reaching, if you're as long as you're within this trend, you are fine. So you'll see maximum loss like only when it will go like 10-20% like that. Otherwise you will not see maximum loss. But as long as it doesn't reach the break even before the expiry, then you can stay in this trade. And if you're about to reach the break even, then you can do an adjustment if the stop loss is not hit. So you can do adjustment by two methods. One is adjust by rolling up or rolling down the front month short option to collect more credit and increase the profit zone. For example, if this is going towards this, let's say 10,500, right? If it is going here, so you are losing on the 10,800 put from the long option. So now to collect more credit, you have to move your strike, the short option, right? The 30 July one. You should move to 10,500 put or 10,600 put to collect more credit. Okay, so that will increase your profit zone little bit further to the downside. So it will increase your profit zone. That will give you a little bit more time for the trade to work out. So that is one adjustment. You can do adjustments like 2-3 adjustments, not more than that. So, and similarly, you can also do the adjustment on the upside. And the another adjustment is by adding one more at the money or slightly out of the money calendar spread to increase the profit zone. So basically, you're increasing your position size here. So you're increasing your capital here. That is another kind of adjustment. Now, for example, if let's say if it went to 10,500, then what we can do is that you short 10,500 put at the money or 10,300 put out of the money, and of the same strike you buy the long dated option of the next month. So it will be like, you know, two peaks like this. So you'll have a bigger profit zone in which you can gain from this trade. But only thing is that your capital will increase. So keep these mechanics of calendar spread when you're doing this strategy. And that's all from calendar spread. And talking about the previous trade that I've shown, the stop loss has hit for this bear call spread that I've given 2-3 weeks ago. So the futures has breached around 10,700. So we exited for around 3,000 loss, something like that. So that is all from me this week. So if you have any suggestion, tweet to us or email us. So AP, if you don't have
Yeah, in
any
fact, we
questions,
would like suggestions maybe in the comment section or maybe on Twitter to understand what more or what different you want.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So goodbye, everyone.